Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Psychic Tarot Show forecast for this upcoming week. Hey, it's the last day of January 2026, January 31st. Tomorrow, full moon in Leo, February 1st. So this forecast is taking us until the 6th of February. Welcome, everybody. Lovely to see you. Blessed Saturday to you as well. Sunshine, Greece. Good morning, Australia. Hello, Holland. Oh, there we go. Yvonne, hi there. Whoops. And oh, woo friends, good evening from Yorkshire. Hi, Lupo. I was just on a call with the International British Dowsing Society, our Zoom conference. So that was super fun meeting fellow woo people from all over the globe, lots from the UK. So I have my pendulum warmed up here. We were doing all kinds of practice exercises and sharing tips and tricks. So that was super fun. And before we get started, I will remind you that this is where we are, the Psychic Tarot weekly show with ASHALA. If you'd like to book a session with me, you can find me here on the Beyond Mystic Consultations page. Use the coupon code below to receive a 10% discount on your 1-hour session. And please, if you're not doing so already, follow us here on the Beyond Mystic Rumble channel and like, share, and subscribe over here on Beyond Mystic YouTube. Woo! So let's jump into the forecast for this week. Very interesting how last week was quite mellow, and it was helpful for me to remember that, to take that pause. I wonder if that's going to continue. We're wrapping up the last, gosh, it's not even 3 weeks. It's just over 2 weeks left in the wood snake year. So all that last shedding of the skins, getting ready for the fire horse to jump into action February 17th, not that far away. Yay. Lovely to see you. Hello, Washington. Yeah. Nice to see you, everybody. I know people are saying that Coco's here, but Coco's not here. I will pass on the good wishes to her. Oh, maybe she's here in the comments. Maybe I missed her. Sorry, Coco, if I missed you in the comments. I'm just clearing the cards because, well, I was actually using them. We were talking in the conference call, the Zoom conference call with the International British Dowsing Society about blue orbs. And one person was describing a really powerful encounter they had with blue orbs. And we were dowsing about the origin of these blue orbs. And I was getting that they were from the 8th dimension. So that sparked quite a lot of conversation amongst us. I'm saying that because it's always relevant. Life is like a big riddle. And if that's what was talked about just prior to coming onto this show, there's a little bit of a message in this forecast for this week about the blue orb frequency that is coming. Well, I actually was shown between 7 and 9 dimensions. So they were saying they could be from 7th, 8th, or 9th dimension. Yes. Aww. Yeah. Plasma intelligence. Thank you for that. Plasma intelligence. Yeah. um, basically two different people, two different dowsers were talking about profound experiences with that blue orb consciousness, that they have tremendous healing capacity and can clear a lot of our energy very quickly. So I'm going to make the cards bigger. Here we go. And we'll begin looking at this week. Ooh. So remember last week we didn't have one single major arcana. Do you remember that? Well, except that this one, oh gosh, this one was in the middle. It was the last card pulled. And it's the first card pulled this week, the moon. Let's talk about the moon a little bit. It's card number 18. Funny, we were just talking about, eighth dimension, ninth dimension. 18 is a 1 and a 9. And the moon is very reflective. It is a card that has to do with the deep subconscious aspects of our nature, all things that are hidden. There can be a kind of an occult symbolism to the moon, but it feels very earth elemental to me. Do you notice, we've got the light and the sparks of fire coming from the sun, the solar energy. We have strong earth energy. There's even a feeling of almost like a solar wind with the moon. And then we have the water and the crayfish representing, our deep subconscious memories, our collective history, very much connected to moon, the cycles of the moon, to the ocean, the cycles of the moon related to the tides and so on. So we're bringing this energy from last week into this week, and it's showing up in the house of the self, the ego, the personality. Well, the moon, when it comes up in personal readings, indicates we have really big personal healing work to do. It often represents, I want to say, big life turning points, almost like where we face some of our greatest fears. We go to these places. It's like hopes, fears, health, gateways, portals, all of that. So that is what we're starting this week with. Already a major arcana card. Let's see what's in Taurus. How do we ground this moon energy? Really feeling part of the grand cycles, the tides, the magnetic shifts of our earth and all the elemental energies. Taurus. Ooh, okay. So kicking stones is what I'm hearing. Taurus is an earth sign. The Knight of Swords is air. Air is about thoughts, ideas, and communications. This character can be angry. And I would suggest that if he's stuck in a earth rut, he's going to get angry. This could be where we really push through blockages related to resources, wealth, security, money, material possessions, and so on. There could be a real sense of, I want to see what's around this, what's opposite this on the wheel over here to see how well aspected it is. But I remember I wrote a poem years ago. It was called ASHALA Throws Rocks at the Moon, or Kicks Rocks at the Moon. This feels a bit like that. It's like where we go, come on, I want these patterns to shift. I want my life to evolve. I'm furious with how limited things are. So there could be that restless desire to shift things. Okay, how does that relate to the larger global situation, this tenuous tension that we're all feeling. Okay, we got another major on the other side of this guy. So last week, no majors. Remember, I said it's kind of like the pause before the next big. Well, we're already 2 major arcana in, and they're higher arcana. The arcana means the secret cards, the major secret cards. There's 22 of them in the tarot. They go from 0, the Fool, up to number 21, the World. This is 18 and this is 20. So they are right up at the top. So they even have a bit more potency and weight to them. So we're coming into this week with more spiritual heavy lifting ahead of us. This is in Gemini, the house of Gemini, which relates to thoughts, ideas, communication, knowledge. This could be grand awakening, right? Janine used to call this card go big or go home. This is a big wake up call, Judgment Day, in the realm of, disclosure, Judgment Day and disclosure. Could be something big getting brought out in the news this week. Oh, gosh. I just want to give you all a little hug. Well, we had a good week last week, didn't we? And we knew that it couldn't last forever. So this is in the house of the home, family. Yeah, your home base, that place. This is the stress and anxiety. So it could feel, the whole planet could feel wobbly this week, is what I'm hearing. There could be some earthquake. There could be some really big shifting outwardly, inwardly. I'm not trying to scare you all, because I really believe that we are shown these things. When I see heavy stuff in the cards and the readings, it's not about punishing us or scaring us. It's about emboldening us, right? Empowering us. It's like, yeah, this is what we've been waiting for. The 9s are the synthesis. So we've got 18, the moon. When you add 1 and 8 together, it's a 9. We've got another 9 here, 9 of swords. Yeah, Epstein files released, right? Yeah, definitely. We're in for a shift. Yep. Big stuff, big stuff. Kind of the opposite of last week was like all these little details, getting everything kind of lined up. And this week is like, whew, big. We've got that full moon in Leo tomorrow. Full moon in Leo, February 1st. Courage. Leo is about courage. It is about, putting on our our Superman suits, right? It's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Let's see what is in Leo. Oh, gosh, there's going to be a lot of ways that you could take what's going on personally. If you stay in the lower version of yourself, this week will feel very uncomfortable. I'm not going to mince my words. Yeah, it's going to be very, very important this week to keep rising to the higher version of yourself, because there'll be a lot that you can take very personally. There'll be a lot where you can be like, oh my gosh, this is heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking news. Everybody put your hands over your heart. Let's take a deep breath together and know we've got this. We've got this. When you see, the anxiety card, it's not just from this week, this month, this year. This has been building for eons, for generations. This has been building. And when we see the, open heart surgery card, the surgery is about removing these spikes or swords that have been in the heart for a really long time. It's not new. None of this is new. What's new is that it's now, everything has come to a head. It's all being healed at the same time. So it feels kind of like a healing crisis, doesn't it? I would call this week a feeling of a healing crisis. Let's keep going. And it is that get that final shed of the year of the snake complete, because even within 8 days, you're going to feel the revving engine of the fire horse like, whoa, 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 whoa. I get by the 8th of February, things are going to start ramping up, and the entire year will feel just like going lickety split after that. Yeah. So lots of breath, lots of breathing down into your belly. This is in the house of Virgo. Virgo is a lot about practice, patience, little details, practical things. 8 of Wands is just like, hopefully you did a lot of your practical things last week, because this week you're going to be busy. Day to day, every day is just going to feel like, whoa, so much happening, so many messages, so many invitations, so much pivoting. Wow, isn't this just about as opposite as you can get from last week? It was all these pentacles and practical roll up your sleeves. This week is like, yeah, you're probably going to be pivoting a lot with your habits, your routines. Very likely spontaneity will rule this week. So let her fly. Okay. Well, let's space this out a little bit better. Uh-huh. Okay. Ace of Swords in Libra. Clearing, finalizing, completing contracts, new contracts, like closing, ending old contracts, igniting, initiating, signing new contracts. So old, complete, out the door, shredded, new, written, signed is what I'm hearing. There's a real sense of like passing the baton in the realm of ideas and thoughts. Like we're really moving away from old systems hugely. You could find this in your finances, with your budgets, with your finances. You could find it in your business. Like there could be a lot of reorienting of business contracts, getting rid of the old systems. Yeah, like financial systems. My brain sometimes is like, what's that word? What is the word I'm looking for? And also relationships, agreements, legal things, old legal things done and new things started. The Ace of Swords is kind of like a yes and a clearing card. It's in the house of Libra. Libra is about our bigger life agreements, relationships, long-term relationships, contracts, legal agreements, and so on. Yeah. Financial systems added. Well, okay. So what I'm hearing more is maybe something new as opposed to a crumbling of the old. Now you'll notice, because remember last week also we hardly had any swords. How many do we have so far? 1, 2, 3, 4. So a lot of mental reorganization this week. A lot of pivoting and looking in a new direction. Yeah, and for people who don't like fast change, this could feel uncomfortable. That's why you're really going to need to stay up with your lofty view this week and not take things personally. Like if you hear that your job has been canceled or everything is shifting, look from the higher vantage point and see how the universe is trying to reorient the path for you. What you saw as a roadblock is actually a detour to take you to a better route. Yeah, almost like shortcuts, roundabouts. Ooh, this is exciting. We had a lot of court characters last week too. So far, just two of them, the Knight of Swords over here and the King of Wands. So a knight and a king. There's 16 court characters. We only have two of them so far. King of Wands in Scorpio. Scorpio, death and rebirth, endings, new beginnings. King of Wands, the biggest head honcho of let's get her done, activator. Janine and I used to call him the Mr. T card. This is a courageous full moon in Leo, all about courage, all about grab the baton and run with it. There's going to be some kind of a takeover. And it's a little bit, I get the feeling of, the underdog that suddenly rises to the top, or there's some way that a surprise, like everybody's looking over here and then suddenly something new has begun over here, a new beginning, right? We have that Ace of Swords, King of Wands. Wow. So we're feeling both the sorrow of the pain of, maybe I don't feel quite ready for this big shift. I've still got to reorient myself. It's happening too fast. I wanted it to come. Have you ever had that experience where you're like, yeah, I wanted this change, but oh my gosh, I thought it would never come. And now it's happening. It's going so fast. This year will feel that way. So this is a little foreshadowing this week of what the whole year is going to feel like. Wow. 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 Sagittarius expansion. It's ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is luck. Jupiter is spontaneity, expecting the unexpected. I'm just going to pull there. That makes it easier. Jupiter is, expansion. Look at this, the world. Remember I was talking about major arcana cards and I said there's 21 of them, 22, and the 21st card is the top, the upper echelon. It's the world. There it is. And it's in the house of Sag, which is expansion, travel. So something to do with travel, something could get opened up. There may be a very big trip that you're planning. Wow. Gosh, I'm planning a big trip. In the month of May, I'm going to Egypt. Some of you already know about that. Some of you might even be coming with me. There's really something building here around a big journey, and the world will feel small this week. It's going to feel like we suddenly get a bird's eye view of how we're all on this tiny little planet together. Or in this tiny little dimensional reality together. And we get this expanded perspective. Look at that. The world across from Judgment. Grand awakening, anyone? Huge upgrade? Instant upgrade? Could this be the week? Could this be the week? Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, the goddess reigns, the goddess at the top, divine feminine, earth. Okay, earth is planning something. Now, you could be like, "Oh, I'm worried, Ashala. What's earth planning?" Because, we don't want big raucous upheavals, but if it was big raucous upheavals, we would see things like the Tower and the Wheel of Fortune, the Devil. This is activation to clear energy and bring in a new dominion, uh, where the earth is it's almost like, because I really get the sense with the earth, right? We've got the earth and the moon. So there's something going on that is earth awakening. And if our consciousness is linked to earth consciousness, it feels like earth is taking a debut this week. It's like it's expanding consciousness, growing, evolving, a real ascension moment. Mhm. Yeah, the word dominion, isn't it? First full moon, 2026, very possible big upgrade. Oh, thank you. Keep us sane and aware through the week. Mhm. Yeah, healing frequencies. I mean, this is quite big. This is quite big. I'm gonna finish the wheel, and then I'm just gonna sit back and observe it all with all of you for a minute. And those of you that have skill with the tarot, I really welcome you to chime in, because this does feel quite pivotal and quite exciting. Scorpio is where we would look to see, well, we'll see what's in Pisces. Cancer, the part of us that is looking for safety and security, not going to feel very safe this week. And the part of us that's looking for security, not going to be a bit like rah, rah, rah out in the streets, kind of rebelling, um, like a call to arms, maybe around the financial system. Um, But the part of us that's known this is coming and feels ready to expand and upgrade, that ascension part of us is just happy as a lark. So again, really stay up in that part of you and encourage the smaller version of you that goes, "But what about this?" Just be like, it's almost like children and fireworks. You ever taken your younger children to see fireworks and they're terrified, right? They're screaming and I want to go home, or I want to hide. And then you're like, you help them calm down and you're like, yeah, but you said you wanted to come and see the fireworks. And then, you bundle them up and you squeeze them tight. You make them feel like, give them a drink of water or something, you know, a little drink of tea or something. And then you get them excited about, this is the moment. Look, isn't it beautiful? And then they start with their eyes wide going, wow. They get beyond their fear. That's what this week is going to feel like. Treat yourself like that little kid at the fireworks show. Make sure you have lots of bundle yourself up, comfort yourself, hydrate a lot, breathe deeply, and go, wow. That's what I'm hearing. Oh, yeah. We've got the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. This is some kind of party on planet Earth. This is a debut of some kind. Mhm. A lot of fire and a lot of air. Thank you, Miss Invisible. A lot of fire and a lot of air. We have 1, 2, 3 fire cards, wands, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 air cards. What happens with fire and air? Well, the air feeds the fire and it just expands. Not a lot of grounding earth here or water. It's funny that our moon has the earth and water. And we really focused on earth and water last week, didn't we? So there was a wisdom in that because it was going to be very elementally different this week. Final card. Whoa. Whoa. Another sword. Yeah, we're going to need to surrender thinking you know the whole story. You're going to need to surrender the need to know everything and go into the experience of kind of awe and wonder. Feel into it. Lots of energy, lots of breath. Yeah, letting go of your old stories. Gosh. I have to say, I feel, and we could do this collectively because a lot of you, I feel, are these kind of people. I've met many of you, done readings for you, and I know that so many of you resonate with all of this energy up here, which is, hey, we're ready for new earth. We're ascension beings. We came here on fire, ready to change the world. We came here, marching to the beat of our own drummer, coloring outside of the lines. We are these courageous beings, and finally we get to live. Waha! We've bought the precious metals. We're going to be okay as these old systems shift. And then, a lot of us, I think 6 years ago, were like, oh, the people that are naysayers, they're going to regret that down the road when all this, what hits the fan. Well, now that the what is hitting the fan, I think I, for one, am feeling kind of sad for the people that are not ready for this, because they're really going to be terrified. So can we send them some love? Because they're just kind of like those little kids that need to be comforted. And can we just say, hey, look, it's a party on planet Earth. This is a big wake-up call. Things could actually turn out way better than you think. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. So the pregnant earth, pregnant with new possibility. And thank you, seventh pillar, for reminding me what I call the 10 of swords is the acupuncture card. So, there's a lot of energy that wants to move through your body. Any kind of body energy movement stuff this week would be great. More frequency style. So qigong, tai chi, kundalini, breath work, all of that stuff, as opposed to working out at the gym or, yoga hatha postures or something. This week is a good week for moving energy, breath, that kind of frequency movement, really great. And then also, clearing the meridians. So acupressure, acupuncture, shiatsu, any of those kind of modalities would be really great this week because we want to unblock the meridians so that this energy, there's a lot coming through. It's kind of like when you get a big power surge and your circuits that aren't strong enough to hold it kind of get a fail. So we want to prepare our circuits, and there could be some power surges and power outages as well. Interesting that this feels more geomantic, magnetic than solar to me. I mean, I do feel sort of solar wind, but I'm getting that there's something more internal in the earth that's shifting. Geomantic. Mhm. Okay, last card. I just keep wanting to move this away. Um, yeah. Let's see what the last card is. Aw, so sweet. Little Page of Cups. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Um, yeah, have you ever had in if you're having a nightmare or something and you're like realizing you start to become lucid and you're like, "Oh, this is a dream and I don't want this anymore. Stop." Like, bad dream, go away. Nice dream, come now. It's almost like a little child in us that wakes up and goes, "Oh, I don't like this. I want this to stop and I want this to start." And I've actually had inside of a bad dream, where I'm falling or someone's chasing me or something. And then suddenly I'm like, wait a minute. No, no, no. Stop, cancel. I do not consent. No more of this. And then often it goes into something kind of sweet and nice. And I'm like, that's better. That's what this week could feel like. So if you find yourself going, uh-oh, looks like a nightmare out there, just really don't consent to being pulled into that. There's enough people on the planet that are playing out the nightmare scenario. We don't need to give more encouragement to that. It's a dying old version of reality that is still going to be active for a while, but it's diminishing. It's diminishing. It's getting smaller and smaller. But if you keep focusing on it, you give it energy to stay bigger. So there's a little bit of like, yeah, I see you still there, because you always wanna keep an eye on it, right? I tell that story often about, Gandalf in Lord of the Rings with the Balrog, and he just is like, "Okay, we're good now." He was walking away, and then the Balrog's tail catches him by the ankle and pulls him down. Like, we wanna keep our eye over here on this and go, "Yeah, I'm watching you, but I'm not you're" that Balrog was fallen down. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to be able to come back up again, but it could still pull us down with it. So you got to keep your eye on it, make sure you're you're out of the way of its, talons grabbing you. But keep a distance and just let it fall. Just let it fall. Let the old fall is what the guides keep saying over and over again. Let the old fall. And any part of your life. So I've been hearing these stories from people. We're going to see this week where, you got an old phone that the frequency isn't good, it's probably not gonna work. Your old computer, not gonna work anymore, it's gonna crash. Your old car, broken down, too much to repair. Instead of going, "Oh, poor me," like, "Oh, now what am I gonna do?" Be like, "Good riddance, good riddance, good riddance, good riddance." Like, try to breathe and go, I guess I don't need it and something better is coming. That is going to be your mantra for this whole week. I guess we don't need it and something better's coming. Now I'm feeling we all take a big breath and put both our hands over our solar plexus and feel the power in saying that to yourself. Keep repeating that mantra every time you get into the anxiety of like, oh no, I guess we don't need it, or I don't need it, and something better is coming because look at this. Wow. Yeah. Aw. Oh, thanks, Miller. Um, mhm. Yeah. Can't remember the last time I had a bad dream. Good for you. It's all flight training for when I trade in the avatar, right? It is exactly that. And that's why, all as soon as we catch ourselves doing that thing, we go, "Oh, right. Yeah, things are going to shift around me. Things are going to fall away. That's okay. Yeah." John, I pray you have a wonderful week if there is such a thing. Well, the word wonder. Wow. Keep saying wow. I let this go. I guess I don't need it and something better is coming. Keep saying wow. 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 And this little child, the inner child is at the center. So we're going to feel lighter by the end of this week. We're going to feel like something has been left behind. That bell rock is falling, 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 falling. Mhm. Wow is right. Isn't this different from last week? Oh my gracious. Whew. Yeah. Well, and coming in with that message about the bright blue orbs, the seventh, eighth, and ninth dimensional light being avatars. Um, and interesting that I get more interdimensional than extraterrestrial. I get inside of the earth, not outside of the earth, if that makes sense. Um, does anybody else feel that? Yeah. Oh, the blue orbs. Yeah. Wow. Interesting, interesting. Miles to go, as my spiritual mentor, Martine Prechtel, always says, miles to go. So let's just have a peek at some of the slides here on our way out. What else do I have to share with you today? I think this one. No, this one. Yeah. So this is Ascension Organite's Timeless Love Jewelry Sale. All pendants, bracelets, and silver jewelry 25% off, valid until February the 8th. Hey, that's not too far away. And this is automatically applied at the checkout, so you don't have to go in and use a code. So that's really super. And yeah, you're tuning in here at the Psychic Tarot Show. I look forward to next week's reading. We'll see what happens on the other end of all of this. What a powerful, profound week. I can't imagine that life is ever going to look the same after a week like this. And, I'm going to close off because I didn't really mention a lot about this King and Queen of Wands and related to the Empress. King and Queen of Wands, whenever you have a, divine royal couple that show up together, there's a suggestion that we're going to find some harmonization between the genders, between the masculine and the feminine, the polar opposite parts inside of us as well as outside of us in our relationships. So a relational kind of balancing, equality, and it's in the realm of fire, spirit, energy. creativity, really high frequency creativity coming through. And then the Empress is the Divine Mother, and we have the mother and the child. So even an energy of conceiving a new frequency of beings that are coming in, that are being conceived and born this year. Wow. Incredible beings coming in to guide us into the next era. Yeah, the next Yuga cycle. So I wish you all such a beautiful week, many blessings, and I will see you here again, same time, same place next week. Bye for now, everybody.